thank you for being here on this very important day when we get to announce core stage complete for, in fact, the SLS rocket, the most powerful rocket ever built in human history.
Did you know that we were planning to send astronauts back to the moon in 2024?
I gotta be honest, I did not.
I follow NASA on their socials, so that's where I learned about it, and I got really excited.
No, I'm not sure when I found out when it was accurate, but I have to say it'd probably be sometime in the past year or so.
Well, I know that from your your post on Facebook.
I just think there's so much opportunity out there. I'm not necessarily totally on board with colonizing it and like having people give up their life here and start a new colony there and with the intentions of never coming back.
And I spoke recently to the founder of an aerospace company, a very young man, only 22 years old, in the Philippines, and that caused the Philippines government to set up the Philippine Space Agency.
There's one thing that I think caught my attention too, is you consider even how much this costs. Budget for NASA just hovers around $30 billion a year. It's less than 10% of the annual profit returned by Apple.
And if there is no Noble Dome, in my head, every single person has to wear like some sort of space suit. And then there's like some sort of like refill or recharge station or whatever, kind of like the actual ISS has like their own like oxygen provision surplus or whatever when astronauts go out. But like
China, US, Russia, oh boy. I mean, if that ever got out of hand, all three of those nations have a big enough nuclear, not atomic, not a fission architecture, but a nuclear fusion architecture. Yeah, we could destroy the world with that.
Hopefully, in 500 years, we are advancing society through the solar system, in my opinion. It kind of depends on whether we make proper decisions along the way and we don't mess up and prevent ourselves from going there.
For instance, what you mentioned about the Hubble Space Telescope is my favorite example. Is when it was launched, all the images were blurry. So NASA got together all the best computer software engineers. They corrected the lens. They figured out what the problem was. And through that technology, that was used in hospitals to detect breast cancer much earlier on. It was actually used in modern day mammograms.
I think we would have expanded beyond the Earth. By then, yeah. I think that the colonization that's talked about right now, I don't think will happen in our lifetime. But I think enough talk will happen and setup will happen to where I think it'll happen in a generation or two.
If governments have access to money, we should focus on the problems that are that we're facing here on planet Earth, because planet Earth is a spaceship, and we humans are its inhabitants. And there are people dying of hunger, don't have clean water, don't have access to good sanitation.
That they consider their interest. And also I think we may have also reached a point now as compared to maybe 60 years ago where a lot of human manned activities in space are seen as mundane or daily. Like you reflect on how many rocket launches we have for satellites. Like we have like 2 or 3 a week. And it's just routine now, and no one seems to reflect or consider how spectacular that is. And I think a lot of people consider, humans on the moon in 24. Well, if we could do it in 69, like what's the big deal? Without recognizing that it's...
How would you hypothetically resolve the issue of like just like oxygen as a resource? Because like obviously there's like weird sci-fi shows like specifically I'm thinking like The Martian, where it's just like he has home base and he just goes back and then he can like go back and forth. But I feel like instituting oxygen as a resource would almost make it more competitive, for lack of a better term, than like how water was a resource for like early agricultural, like the Paleolithic age,
And even traveling the speed of light, to get out of the solar system is a long, long, long way. And I'm not sure we're going to be at that point in 500 years. But
Well, it's certainly always something to keep in mind as you're going through that process. But I'm definitely for going to the moon. Absolutely, even beyond. We can't ever lose sight of the important things here for sure, but we can always make progress in all aspects of it. So.
Yes.
Like Venus.
Like Venus.
We completely outruled Venus as a possibility of life. And right now, it's a possibility. Finding phosphine gas on Venus, it could be possibly that, I don't know, it's happening from some type of geological activity that we weren't aware of. Or there might be some type of like microbe extremophile type of thing that's there that might be releasing it, that's in the atmosphere of Venus.
Have an amazing day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye, London. Bye-bye.